and wholehearted gratitude. Briefly, may I add over here, sir, I indeed am saddened to learn that the Hajj medical delegation, in which you, sir, were instrumental in organizing in association with the Association of British Hujjaj, I am indeed saddened to learn that perhaps this year it is not going to be to serve those who really need services during Hajj. I had the privilege of being a member as a volunteer doctor in the year 2001, and I know from personal experience that there is a desperate need for this delegation to continue to serve the British Hajj pilgrims. And I would only reiterate to you, sir, in my most humble way, as well as to all members who are present over here, members of the print and electronic media, to make note, a serious note of the situation, and do make an effort to create awareness with regard to the need and necessity of the continuation of this noble task. Now, in conclusion, there's a key message for you to take home, and that is, meningitis is a sure killer. Save yourself by timely action. Get vaccinated today, because tomorrow might be too late. Tomorrow might be too late, or indeed, it might never ever come at all. I'd like to thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Dr. Saab. Everybody knows now the importance of meningitis jab and how important it is that without it you do not get visa to go.
The British delegation, and I was delighted to be with him, but it is really on his and your work that Lord Patel subsequently made so much success of our British Hajj delegation to Saudi consistently over now a number of years. I understand, although please forgive me, that it's now under threat. And I think that apart from ensuring that we're all aware of the responsibility of ensuring our well-being and our Hajjis' well-being in Saudi during this very important time and holy month, a holy period of our lives. But also I think it's really critical that we ensure that British government understands implicitly our desires to continue with the delegation. It doesn't really matter who heads it, it doesn't matter who attends, but it's not just a principle, it's actually the well-being of people who are British citizens who go there in huge numbers, and I think that we leave them very vulnerable if we do not provide adequate support for them. And I think that is the point. I think it's really important that for all the years that there's been delegation, that there's been men and women who have been able to access this support. And I know particularly for women and vulnerable women, and there are all ages of men and women who go to Hajj. I've had the fortune of being particularly during Umrah. It's critical that we ensure that this support provided by British government, not at the cost of British government very much really, it's peanuts, but even if that support, financial support is not forthcoming, I think we have to be big enough to ensure that we can put that money together to ensure that under the guise of British government that delegation continue to exist, continue to provide the services and the facilities for the well-being of British citizens. I think that's what I would ask that all of you take into consideration. I know that on a handful of us lies very heavy burdens of responsibility for continuously raising awareness, continuously raising issues that are very difficult. But you know, alhamdulillah, that's what we are good for, and you know, it's in good hands. Mashallah, Lord Ahmed is this matter is in good hands, in your good hands, and I'm sure that you will continue your efforts. And whenever I can, from wherever I am, inshallah, I'll do everything that I can. Thank you very much for giving me your. Thank you.
Now, there's a item on the agenda, award presentation. Now, this has been a surprise, and I'm not going to say anything because even the recipients do not know that they're being given this award, and it truly is a surprise. And you will see from the faces of a couple of people who've been chosen to be awarded for their service and for the fantastic work. So Kamar Bhatti is going to do the presentations, and he will read out whatever he needs to read out, and then the award will be given.
نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم أما أباد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Can I start by saying that Lord Ahmed Baranasuddin and my distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm very honored to be invited to actually read out the citations for the individuals that are going to be awarded in this section of the agenda. And I made a point of sitting well away from any of them so that they couldn't read the notes that I've got in front of me. This is an opportunity for us as an association to actually recognize the work of people who do this work unnoticed. But as you've seen from the reports that have been presented to you earlier, if these people were not as significantly involved in this work, we would not be making these achievements for the British Hujjaj and British citizens going to Saudi Arabia for Hajj and Umrah. So there are 4 awards that I'll be reading citations for. The first one, every year, my brothers and sisters, 125,000 British Muslims travel to Saudi Arabia to perform Hajj and Umrah pilgrimage. Many of these travelers who are old-aged, sick and disabled and are suffering from hardships and difficulties, mental anguish and exploitation for many years at the hands of unscrupulous and rogue Hajj tour and travel operators in our civilized society. We recognize this is a minority, but nevertheless they are unscrupulous and they are carrying out this activity. There is a perception amongst these traders that they are untouchable and free to indulge in fraudulent activities and malpractices due to a lack of law enforcement by the authorities. The ABH, a National Hajj Association, specific charity working for the welfare and well-being of British Hujjaj pilgrims, received a large number of complaints from distressed and traumatized pilgrims over the years. We worked hard by trying to persuade relevant authorities to help and protect these vulnerable people. However, the community have yet to see a decisive set of actions to tackle this extremely difficult issue. However, we haven't lost our hope just yet. We can see a light at the end of the tunnel. When the Metropolitan Police took the plight of 300 prospective pilgrims seriously, whose Hajj tour operator disappeared with almost £500,000 of their money and passports, a team of police officers worked tirelessly to investigate the full scale of this tour operator, who was Muhammad Farooq Ahmed. The crime that was he was placed eventually under considerable pressure, and the process of evidence that went through put him behind bars for 6 years. And we found that £25,000 of the money of the Hajj victims was recovered from Bangladesh. We, the Association of British Hujjaj, are therefore very proud of this success and this achievement. Therefore, on behalf of the Muslim community, we would like to present this award in recognition of the outstanding achievements towards community service to Detective Inspector Des McHugh and his team. As mentioned earlier, the Muslim community throughout the country is unanimous in condemning the fraudulent and illegal activities and the inhumane and degrading treatment from rogue Hajj tour and travel agents. The trading standards are responsible for enforcing the package travel and tour legislation 1992. However, it's highly regrettable that despite a number of complaints from distressed victims, so far 90% of cases have been unsuccessful in securing a legal action against rogue and unscrupulous tour operators, and these people are still trading freely. The community is angry and frustrated about the lack of visible and decisive action to ensure a rule of law by the trading standards departments across the country, with the exception of a few, including Birmingham Trading Standards. The person that takes this award today was one of the first of our links with the Trading Standards Agency, and he provided us with a valuable advice and assistance. He's been a great source of strength and encouragement for achieving our objectives to protecting the vulnerable Hajj and Umrah pilgrims. We'd like to award Senior Trading Standards Officer Chris Rowe in appreciation of his contribution. Next award is in recognition of outstanding commitment and dedication towards the welfare and well-being of British Hajj and Umrah pilgrims. And I have great pleasure in presenting this citation. The ABH, we all appreciate, could not have achieved its success so far without the total dedication and hard work of its executive committee members. And we recognize that in the work that they all do, it's voluntary, unpaid, and it's for them a charitable activity on their part. And we recognize that the personal time and commitment and resources that they have given to the association has been very evident in the amount of sheer work that they put in. With the help and support, ABH has been successful in containing the spread of meningitis, which caused over 20 deaths amongst British Hajj returnees in the UK in the recent past. Their efforts made tremendous success to raise awareness of other pre-travel health-related issues, making substantial savings in the NHS resources by preventing the need for hospitalisation of these returnees. They provided counselling and advisory service on health and safety matters to the community throughout the year, including on live TV and radio programmes. This is over the course of just over a decade. Providing services to the British Hajj pilgrims in Mecca as part of their British Hajj delegation right at its outset. My brothers and sisters, their expertise and knowledge and collective experience has proven to be invaluable to the work of ABH. Hence, in recognition of their outstanding commitment and dedication towards the welfare and well-being of British pilgrims, we would like to present this award to our senior executive members and doctors, Dr. Rashid Ahmed Bhatti Saab and Dr. Sayyid Raza Hussain Saab.
All of you know that the service that's been provided for the last 12 years by British government could not have happened without the help of the government of Saudi Arabia. And we are very grateful for the fantastic service that is provided in Mecca, in Medina, in Mina, Muzdalifah and Arafat. But more importantly here in London, because the Saudi government and the Saudi embassy has been very helpful throughout this time when we've been talking about whether the service or whether it is the rogue traders, whether it is meningitis or sometimes difficulties because of the times. We hope that even though we are going to campaign and I'm quite proud of the fact that I will campaign against our own government for not providing this service this year, and if we have to go even to further extent, happy to lead a campaign from here. Lord Hunt has already said that he would join, and even from outside, but we will do that. But we are very grateful for the service that Saudi Arabia has been providing. So we have Brother Abdul Rahman from the Saudi Embassy here, and we'd like to welcome him, and we'd like him to say a few words in relation.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. My name is Abdul Rahman Al-Anizi.